Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. JJ here, and I'm happy to tell you that I think I found the perfect no-code mobile app builder in the internet, and that is Thunkable. So as you know, I already reviewed a few tools, a no-code mobile app builder, and I noticed that there is always something missing or features missing for on those tools. Like for example, one tool there is no data source integration, like a built-in database, and worse is there is no API integration. Then there is some tool that I already using that doesn't offer any logic builder, that's making your app, useless and limiting its features. And then another tool that I encountered doesn't offer any Admob integration, and usually this Admob integration is a deal breaker, especially if you want to monetize your free to use application. And then there's another tool that I saw that it offers all those features that I need, but the catch is the pricing is too expensive and there's no free plan for you to play around and try the tools first. So those that are the concern that I encountered on those tools that I have been using and reviewed in my channel. And fortunately, while browsing the internet, I saw this tool, Thunkable. And to my surprise, all the features that I need to build a beautiful application and useful application are all offered here. At first, I'm a bit hesitant to, to use and even review this Tankable, because if you have a look at their website, it's very plain and simple, which is, doesn't entice me to even have a look at it, even read the documentation. But that's the thing. Without trying it, you won't know that what it's capable of. So here in Thunkable, you can create an application with a database, add logic and variables for you to store some user selection, and create a logic from it. And also, what makes me excited to use this to create an app is it has a built-in integration with Admob, which allows me to later on monetize this free application that I'm about to build. And on top of those features is it offers a free plan for you to play around and test the app first. So I'm going to explain those features and offering later in this video. So stick around and while I'm going through this website. So to go to Thunkable, you need to go to this link, thunkable.com. And then here, this is their landing page. So it's a pretty simple page, as I mentioned. There's their headline saying it's no code mobile app development tool. And then there has this features here saying these are the Thunkable platform features. Like it says here, it has a drag and drop components. And you can add advanced logic. You can deploy the app in a device native format, and then also it has an extensible integration. As I mentioned, it has a built-in database and you can connect to it via different API. And then Thunkable also offers a direct publishing to Play Store and App Store. So basically, those are the main features of this application. So first, for you to use their tool, you will need to first sign up. So in my case, I need to go to click this button, sign up. And then after signing up, first you will be asked to enter your email. And then after entering your email, there will be a verification that will send to the email that you entered. And then after that, on your account. The first setup, you need to define like what's your name, your full name, and then what is the purpose of using this tool, what is your profession. So those things, it should be quick. Actually, it just took me like 1 minute to go through that setup. And once you have successfully done with that, you will be redirected to this page. So this is their main dashboard. So if you already successfully logged in, this is, in my case, this is the main dashboard. What you will see here is the list of projects that you already created. In my case, I already created one, which is, I name it Project Victory. And then there's this big button for you to start a new app. And then here at the second tab, it's saying Top Community Projects. If you click here, it will show you all the apps that has been created using Thunkable. And then here in the public gallery, show you some projects. And then the data source, which is basically your database. Let's go back to my projects. And then here, these are the featured projects. So featured projects are, the project that has been built by the community, showcasing to you what is the capability of Thunkable. So, for example, you can create an inventory management app, and you can also create book reviews, which is a simple app. And then also, you can create game, like for this one, Flappy Ball. So, good thing with this is these are like an application that already been built using Thunkable, and you can copy their code for you to modify it to your likings. To show to you this Flappy Ball as a demo, just click this one, and then it will be redirected me to the test site. So you click, it's like a Flappy Bird actually. Okay, it's hard for me to. So okay, it's game over. But basically, you can create a Flappy Bird like application using this. Oops, and then there's your score here at the top portion of your device. So those things, this application can be done using Thunkable. And if you want to start creating similar project, you can just copy the project into your account and modify it. So cool, right? So now, let's go back to our main dashboard. So to view the plans that Thunkable is offering, just click this upgrade account. Clicking this will open a new tab showing you the possible plans that you can avail. So right now, by default, you will be on the free plan. So in the free plan, you can create 10 projects and 200 MB account storage. This is for your data of your application. And then project sharing. So in project sharing, this is the number of times that you can download your application. You can download the Android package, but not the iPhone version of it. And the catch is you can only do that twice a month. But if you are playing around, I think that should be enough. And then it shows you a community support and live testing, so you can test your app. So you don't need to actually just download every time just to test it, because it offers you a live testing that's making this project sharing, good enough. And then the next one is the starter plan. In the starter plan, you will have your project limit double from 10 to 20, and then you can create a project, one private project. So especially if the project is confidential, you can use starter, and then you will have a bigger account storage, like 500 MB of storage for your data or database, and then you can download your project 25 downloads per month. So that's way higher compared to free plan. And then same with the support and the live testing. And now the pro. So in the pro, as you can see here, there's no project number limit. And then you can create up to 50 private project and 1 gig of account storage. And then also you will have unlimited downloads for publishing. And also, if you avail the Pro plan, you can directly publish it to App Store and Play Store, which is cool and convenient. And then also, you can you can now have the Admob integration, which is perfect if you want to monetize your free-to-use application. And then you have this business, which is other features like offering a responsive web apps. You can create a responsive web apps. Uh, you have now the additional support like chat support, email and Slack support, and other custom branding like custom font. If you want to use a custom font for application, you can do that using the business. And then there's this here like a theme and education. I think this is for inquiry to get the pricing. And then the price here is not showing unless you click the get starter. So let's click the get starter. So here you will see the possible price. If it's monthly, then it's $15, and then if it's annual, it will be like $13 per month. And then if you avail the pro, just click the pro. It will be like $45 per month. And then if you want it annually, if you will bill it annually, then the plan will falls at around $38 per month. You are saving 17% as mentioned here. Cool. So right now, I'm going to create an app and tour you to the editor using my free plan. So everything that you will see here in this tutorial are all done using a free plan. Okay, so now let's go back to the dashboard by clicking this logo, Thunkable. And then now let's click this create new app. And then maybe let's give it a name of uh, Thunkable tutorial project. Okay, and it's public because we don't have any choice because it's a free plan. So let's hit create. Oh, please select a category. This is education. All right, and then it says here use the drag and drop builder. Yes, sure. So now it opens a tab. And then now this is my editor. So as you can see here, you will have this phone-like canvas. So this is where you will drag and drop these components. So if you take a look at this left panel, you will see these components similar with the other tools that we already reviewed. Like you will have this component for button, label, image, text input, list, checkbox, maps, video, date, and the Admob banner. So those are the tools, the common tools that you can put here in your application. And then here, the next one is the data. This is where you will create your database. So let's click that. Let's click this database icon. So here, you can create a database by clicking this plus sign. So it says here create new. So you can create your own table, or you can actually import from different data sources like Google Sheets, Webflow, and Airtable. So let's close that. Let's close this for the meantime. And then let's go to the next one, which is assets. This is where you can upload your images or video or animation that you want to use in your application. And then in the settings, if you click the settings, this is usually contains the setting for you to give your application an identity, like giving a description, what's your app name, and then also the version, because when you're uploading to Play Store, you need to bump the version to the next one, so you will be needing this one. And then you have the version also for iOS, and then it has also an integration offerings for Firebase, Google Map, and the Admob settings. And then also this is where you import your key store for the security when uploading to Android to Play Store. And then Cloudinary and image recognizer settings. So those are the integration that you can do with Thunkable. So we're done with this panel. So here in the right panel, you will see here the settings of the component. So for example, this is the screen component. Basically, this is my canvas. And then here in the screen, you will see the settings that you can do, like selecting the background color. Say you can enable if it's a scrollable or not. And then you can select the orientation. And then here the status, it can be visible or invisible, the color, so those things. So these are all the settings for your screen component. So let's say you drag and drop a label, let's say a label. So let's select the label, click it, and drag this one here. As easy as that. So here, this will now automatically show you the settings for this label component. So the name is label 1. So if you want to rename it for for quick identification, you can just click this one, this three dots here, and then click rename. Let's rename it to label test. There you go. And then you can now change also the actual label. So that says here, let's say here, this is a Thunkable label. There you go. So if it's not showing, you can click the component and hover on the corner or on the sides of this component, and you can actually expand it or shrink it depending on your preference or your purpose of this label. Okay, let's click again. And then also the font, you can change font here. There's a lot of font that you can select here. The color and the size here, so you can make it this bold, italic, and then also the font size. So let's increase this to 23. There you go. And then also in the layout, it's either you hover on this component and just move it around, or you can move it pixel perfect, like updating the X and Y coordinates of this component in your canvas. And then here, the other style, like if you want to put a background, you can do that here. And then also a border and shadows. Those are the settings that you can, change for this component label. So for other components like image, for example, let's try image. So let's select image and then drag and drop the icon here. So you will see that the settings or the properties is now changed to this. So here you can select the source of your pictures, like you can either click this to upload or type in the URL, and then you can resize also the picture, either cover or contain or stretch depending on the size of your canvas. And then also still the visibility, like it will show uh, what kind of style or color you want this to show. So basically that's it for the image. So now if you take a look at the upper part, you have this one selected design. If you go here, the blacks, you will see here a new layout wherein you can now use to put a logic in your application. For example, this is the components, and per components you can attach a logic or even a variable. So for example, in the screen, let's say in the screen, clicking the screen will show you the possible uh, logic that you can do. Like here, it says here that when screen 1 opens, you can do something. So it depends on what you insert here. So it can either this one, uh, call screen 1, toggle draw menu, so everything. So basically, how this works, this puzzle works is this is the main logic and this is the action that needs to be done once this logic or condition has been satisfied. So that's how it works. So it's something like this. So let's click this one. I'm just going to quickly show you. And then after clicking this one, what you can do next is, it says here that when screen 1, your current screen, opens, you can do uh, maybe here in the control, when you click control, you can add this one, like put that here, and then it says here when screen 1 opens, do navigate to a different screen if you have other screen. So that's how easy and then more intuitive compared to the traditional creation of logic for a no-code mobile app. Like for some tools I already use, they are using flowchart, which kind of complex. But for this one, what I like is you can have multiple logic in your canvas without drawing a lines, which making your drawing a lines for flowcharts, which making your logic unreadable. So I think that's the benefits of just using this kind of puzzle actually and having this canvas open. So anyway, more of that later because I'm going to show you my current app that I'm working on and I'm going to show you how I use it in an actual. So let's click this and then delete this logic. So to delete this, just drag this in this trash can and there you go, it's deleted. So let's go to design and then now here you will see here that there's the name of your screen. So if you have other screen, it will also show here and it will be a navigation menu for you to select the screen that you want to work on. And then there's this plus sign that you can use to create a new screen. And then here, if you go here, this is where you can preview your application. So it's a web preview saying that you can test this or you can view your app using your browser. So let's do that. Let's click this one and there you go. It is showing you the label that we added. And then just to close it, you just need to re-click this button and it will navigate you back to the edit mode. And then this one, there's a cell phone icon. This is for live testing on the actual device. So if you click this one, it will ask you to first download the Thunkable Live from App Store or Google Play. And then after downloading that, it will ask you to enter the Thunkable live mobile code. So that's how you connect your Thunkable app to your actual editor. And then here in share, you can share your application to the community and to your friends for them to see it, and I believe they can also work on it. And then here at the download icon, this is where you can either download or directly publish your application to Google Play Store or to App Store. But here, since we are using free plan, your only option here is just to download the Android bundle. And then now the next one is just the documentation. So if you want to understand better how to use this tool, you can open documentation, and as I observed, they have a pretty straightforward and helpful documentation, as they also have videos embedded on this documentation. And then your account. So basically, that's the walkthrough of the editor. Since you're now familiar with the tool or the editor, I'm going to show you how I use it in the app that I'm creating. So let's go back to the dashboard screen, and then now it is showing me two projects, the one that we previously uh, created and then the one that I'm already working on. So let's click this one. So right now I'm working on a application like a survey form wherein a user answers some question, and based on that answer it will be calculated to see if to see the score, and based on the score it will suggest some result, or show some result. Basically that's the nutshell of the application that I'm working on. So I already created some few screen here. That's why it is showing like around 6 to 7 screens. So now I'm going to show you how to step by step create or use this tool. Okay. So first thing first, I need to create a new screen. So you can do that by either going here in the screens and click this plus sign. So in the plus sign, you have two options. Click create new screen. Basically, it will create a blank screen, and or this one, add navigator. So if you click the add navigator, it is a blank screen, but there's a navigator or buttons on either top, bottom of your screen. In my case, I prefer create new screen with blank, but there's another option. You can also select this screen, and if you want to get all those buttons that you already have, you just want to edit the text or label, you can just duplicate this screen. So to do that, you just click the screen that you want to duplicate, and then in the property, it's now showing screen 6. Just click this 3 button and then select duplicate. And then there's this pop-up. And as you can see, it says here that, are you sure you want to duplicate the screen? This does not duplicate screen 6 associated block. So what it means is that it is creating the design but not the logic that has been put inside this screen, which I believe I don't have yet any logic. So anyway, let's click duplicate. So there you go. I have two identical screen. So what I will do next is I want to edit the label. So instead of question 5, I want this to be question 6. So let's change this one in the property of label. Let's name it question 6. And then it says here the company has a bonus. Maybe let's name it, change the question to, is Thunkable a perfect no code app builder. And then, so for this case, I don't want this selection. What I can do here to delete these components is just click this component, and then here you can, in the property of this component, you can click the three dots and select delete, or you can also click this, and then in this summary or on this outline, the component that you have selected is already highlighted here. So just hover here and then click this trash can icon, and it will prompt you to confirm if you really want to delete this. And let's click delete. Yes, I want to delete this one. Same with this one, with the checkbox. Let's delete this checkbox. This one also. Let's delete this one. So it's easy to delete. You can try deleting also by this one. It should do the same. And then let's click delete. But I'm keen on using this one because it's more faster, because the other one I need to click the three dots. So just click delete this one. Then there you go. So here, this is the button. So I need to change this to yes or no. What we can do is just go to this one and then click button, and then just drag and drop the button. So here you can change the label by clicking the button, and then in the properties, just delete the default label and then type yes. And then for resizing, just hover on the button and just drag. Okay, there you go. And then I want to change the color of the button. So instead of blue, I want this to be green. So here in the style, click the background and then click green. And then let's duplicate this. So because at least we want going to resize another button. So in the property, just copy and then duplicate. Yes. So when you duplicate a component, you will notice that it's getting added on perfect top of the previous component. So that's why you need to drag that. Okay. And then now let's just change the label. It says no, and then also the color. Maybe the color, let's change it to red. And then now this next, maybe let's delete this one first because we don't need it. And then we will put a logic to this yes or no later on. So for any component that you will put a logic, I would suggest to rename the component name instead of, using the label, the default name of the component. It's better to give a descriptive name so it will be easier for you to identify it, especially if you're working with the logic. So let's give it a name to btn yes. And then this one, the no, let's give this a name of btn no. There you go. There you go. Now, what we need to do next is this one. So, one thing that I found missing, but it's very, very negligible in this Thunkable is it is missing a horizontal divider. So I didn't see any horizontal divider here. So I'm not sure if I'm missing something, but just let me know in the comment if there's a way. But as a workaround, what I realized is I can just drag and drop a label, and in the label just put any dash to mimic a divider. So usually a divider is used to separate the, your content. That's why I'm looking, but totally negligible. There's other way around to, uh, implement or go around with this divider, just like what I did. Okay, and then this is the text. Let's delete this text, and this is just a note, so let's put a note. Thunkable is a great project. And then this one is an image. So this is how to add the image. I already showed you. Just go to the component list and then click the image and then just drag and drop here. So if you want to change the component image, just click the component and then here in the picture, select and upload the picture or the JPEG that you want to use. So far, what I noticed is you can use JPEG, JPG, PNG. I believe they can also use animation because there's this component of animation here, somewhere here. So now, just to showcase to you how to create a logic, what we will going to do is, let's go to this previous screen that I already created. What I want to do is when I click next, it will navigate to this next screen that I created. So to do that, let's click this screen. So now as you can see, we can go to the blocks to add logics. And then here, this is the components inside the screen 6. Okay. So now let's look for the next button. As you can see, I have no idea what's the next button is. That's why I suggested to give a name to the component that you want to put a logic. Okay, here in the button 6, let's rename it to btn next. So don't worry if you already use a name on a different screen because it doesn't matter. The naming is unique per screen, so you can just rename your button the same as long as it is on a different screen. So now it says button next one. Okay, and then now let's go back to the blocks. And then now I'm on the here and the canvas for editing the logics. And then I'm going to look for the button that I'm going to put a logic in it. So in the button next one, let's click the button next one. As you can see, there's a pop-up here showing me the possible command or effects that I can do. So you can like put a logic or a function or an action for when the button next one was clicked, it will do something. Also, another function wherein you can, when the button next is long press or long click, it will do something. So that's how detailed this. And then also when the button next has been touched down or key press, and also there's this one or touch up or key release. So those things are possible. Those actions are possible to add using Thunkable. So that's how make this Thunkable powerful, okay? So now, let's make it simple. So when I press button next, the next button, I just want it to navigate to the next screen. So what I do is, let's use this action. So just hover on this and then press it and drag this to the screen. Okay, there you go. Alright. So now what we will do next is to add an action. So the navigate action is under control. So click control and then this one is the navigate. Okay, so and then aside from navigate, if there's a logic before where do you want this to navigate, or it's not as straightforward, or depending to user select, you can control that using these conditions. Like there's an if condition here to do something, or a if else condition here. So now let's make it simple. Let's use this navigate to. Now To use this, just fit it here. There you go. So you will know that what you're doing is correct when the puzzle, this action fits perfectly or automatically or seamlessly into this puzzle. So I'm going to show an example to you wherein what you're doing is wrong. Like for example, let's click the screen, let's hover this one, and then let's drop it inside here. So as you can see, it doesn't, do, or your previous action or previous logic doesn't react to what you have trying to put here. So that's the thing. Unlike this one, when you remove this and then try to put it back, so there's this, an effect wherein it's fitting correctly or perfectly to your previous logic component. So I don't need this one, so let's click it and delete it. There you go. So now it says here that when button next is clicked, it will do navigate to, then now we can select the screen. So I want this to navigate to the screen that we created. So now we're on screen 6. Let's go to screen 7. Alright, now we're done with the logic. So let's go to the design. So now this is the screen 6. So it's highlighted here. And then to test it, just go to this web preview, click, and there you go. This is the screen 6. Then now let's click next. The expectation it will navigate to screen 7. There you go. Now my logic is working. So one last thing that I want to show to you is how to use the math logic, especially for variable if you want to do some math. Because in my case, I'm using a scoring app. So definitely using variable and math, uh, like a math formula is really crucial. Let's do this. So we can do is let's create a label here, or maybe a text input. So let's put on a text input here just for testing. And what I want to do is when I press yes, it will display a score here like 10, okay? So let's give this text input a name. So let's rename it to text input answer, or maybe score. Now I want to put a logic here in the yes to set the value to 10 if the yes button is pressed. So let's click the screen and then let's go to the blocks. So now I'm the screen 7, and then now the button yes, let's go to the button yes because that's where we want to put a logic. Let's click button yes. So when button yes is clicked, so let's use this. So now what we will do is when the button yes is clicked, we will set the value of text input score. So in our case, what we can do is let's click the text input score. So this is the action, but also we can the condition. So this also we can put select the action. So for this case, we can set the hint to a value or the text to a value. So here, and also the properties. You can also change the properties. In our case, we are just concerned with changing the text. Okay, so let's select this one, and oops, I think no, not this one. Let's select again the text input. Let's select the set text input score text 2. Okay, and let's do that. Let's select this one, and then now let's just fit it inside this condition. There you go. It fits. And when we move this, it moves everything. That's why. And that shows that our logic is valid. And then the text is, let's put 10. That's it. So now let's test it. Let's go back to the design, and the 10 should appear here. So let's test that. Let's click the web preview. Alright. So now let's click yes. There you go. The 10 is now showing. Also, you can store all this value in a variable for you to, you know, use it later on for your operation instead of relying in a component. So to do that, let's go to blocks again, and then we can initialize a variable. So here in the core, go to variables, and then select this one, initialize an app variable name to. So let's select this and drag this one. So what it does is you can set a global variable that resides within your app. So if you close your app, it will be reset to its default value. And then also it can be stored in the database and in the cloud. So for the meantime, I will store all the user or the user selection inside the app. And then this is the variable name. So we can name it variable1. And then this is where we can set the value of our variable. As you can see, you can put a puzzle here, like an action. So let's go to the math, because in the math, this is where you can put a number. So let's select this one and then drag this here. As you can see, the default value is 0, but you can change it by clicking the value. And then let's set 100. There you go. So now, what I would like to do is, instead of, setting this or adding a hard code 10 here, we can just use the value of the variable. You can just use a variable value. To do that, let's go in the variables and then select this variable. And then, as you can see, even though there's this color pink puzzle here, you can override that with a new puzzle or new logic. As you can see, it's getting highlighted. There you go. And then now you can select the variable that you want to use. So let's try that. So the expectation is it should display 100 when you click yes. Go back to the design. Let's click web preview and click. As you can see, it's blank. Let's click yes. There you go. It's now displaying 100. So that's how convenient and intuitive to use this Thunkable app for in building a no-code mobile app. So that's why I mentioned that it is a near perfect tool for creating mobile apps, and that's why I love this application. And now I'm using it now to remake my application, because the previous application that I did, I used it with other tool, but I saw some limitation, like it doesn't allow me to integrate Admob. But now, since we have this Thunkable, I can create an application that I can monetize as well. Okay, I think that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully you learned something, and I'm looking forward to see your application in the Thunkable community. So that's it for the meantime. See you again on my next video. Bye!